guys? Christian with OPH Outdoors, and today I am going to do a complete walkthrough of my new Hobie Pro Angler 12 that I'm going to be using for the 2019 season and for any kayak tournaments. This is my kayak tournament setup, and it's just how I go out and fish if I'm going for a day trip. So we're going to start in the front, work our way to the back, going through everything I've done to it and everything that I've got on board while I am going fishing. So let's start in the front. Alright guys, first off, this is 2017, so it came with the straight, or just the flat bunks right here, or the flat plates right here. So I got the 2018 or 19 plates with the gear tracks in it, and the ability to put like fillet knives and stuff like that, pliers, anything you really want. So usually you have to screw these down or put screws into here, but I didn't want to make any drill anything into my kayak, so I left those out. But on each side, I've got these Yak Attack roto grips right there that I slide in, so then I can really decide where I want my net to be at. And this, I've got the Yak Attack landing net, the leverage landing net. I just drape it over the front of my kayak, and it clicks down perfectly right into those grips. So those are the first things I really did to this kayak, is I added these plates, these roto grips, and my net onto the front. Getting into the hatch, when I'm out fishing, of course right now I've got my Lifejacket in here. It's an Onyx AM24. It's an inflatable PFD, just so it's smaller, lighter. Well, not necessarily lighter, but it's smaller and easier to fish with. And they're good life jackets. So I have that first off in here. Second, I just keep all my miscellaneous baits in here, anything that I don't want to throw in my black pack. So I've got some swim baits, more glide baits, more glide baits, and I think I've got another one in here too. So I've got those. I've always carried this rope with me. This I can hook onto my front and hook up to docks. I can hook up something just laying in the water to anchor out. I can do a lot of things with this. It helps a lot having this in here. So other than that, I keep a bunch of soft plastics in here. There's my other glide bait. All these soft plastics, more venom lures, tubes, some Zoom brush hogs or baby brush hogs. Then I got some Z-Man TRD crawls, and then the Z-Man, what are they? The Finesse TRDs for Ned rigs. So that's really everything I keep in this pack, or in this box. So let's get into what's underneath of it. Alright guys, so what's underneath of this box is when I take it out, pretty much right now, all I have is my fish finder battery. So come in here, pull it out. I've got a Noqua 10 amp hour battery, 12 volt, that I use for my Garmin up here, which I'll get into here in a minute. I've just got the wiring ran straight to this. I don't have any special box. It works really good since it's waterproof, just to go and strap it around the sail mast in here. So that's just how I keep it. I can just plug it in and go whenever I need it. Real simple, easy way to do it. I did have an acid battery, but those acid batteries, I was having problems with them not working all the time. So I switched to the Noqua, and I love it so far. I've went out like 5 times for at least 3 hours each in this thing so far this year. And I haven't even charged it since that first time I went out. So it's done pretty good. So that's what I've got in my front hatch. Let's move on to farther down in the kayak. Alright guys, next up, I just had to grab this, but one thing I am going to do this year, I'm going to try it differently this year, is instead of wearing a chest mount GoPro while I'm out, I'm going to try to make up some mount to put in the back. Then also, I've got this DIY selfie type of stick that I made for my GoPro out of PVC and one of the adapters, and it actually fits perfectly straight down in the sail mast. So if I want to do informational videos, I can plug it in right there, have it facing me, or I can even cut it off and angle it up so it's a little bit farther away. So when I'm fishing, you can have a view from the front of the kayak, see what exactly I'm doing, how I'm retrieving, and I can just do informative videos there. So that I'm probably going to store in the front hatch of my kayak once I figure out everything for this. But that's what I'm going to do for my GoPro this year. But as you guys can probably see in the screen, my next up front upgrade that I've done is I have a Garmin Striker 7 SV and it is 7-inch fish finder in the 7SV. It has side imaging, down imaging, chirp, traditional, and it says it's supposed to have maps, but really all it is a white screen. But it does everything I really need, and it works pretty well for me, and I really like it so far. It's good imaging, good unit in general, so that's my fish finder. Alright guys, next, what a lot of people do is in this middle hatch, that people put that divider in there. But I don't really care for that divider, or not the divider, but people put the bin in there. I don't care for the bin too much, so I kept the divider in there. I can slip my phone or anything I really am using that day or need in here. And other than that, I took the two 3600s right here. I made terminal tackle box out of it, got everything labeled on it so I know exactly what's what. Open it up. There we go. So that's all my terminal tackle in this one. And then in this other one, I've got all my chatter baits, jigs, spinner baits, and then I need to put some buzz baits in here. So that's just what I divide up in here. Most of the time when I'm fishing, I fish with chatter baits, spinner baits, buzz baits, and jigs, or I'll use Texas rigs. So I've got all my Texas rig weights right there in my terminal tackle box, and up front I've got some soft plastics if I need them, just real quick for when I'm throwing Texas rigs. So that's really nice, which I figured out I liked. I just keep it this way, and it works best for me, just for the type of fishing that I do. So that's what I have in my hatch, and let's keep on moving. Alright guys, next, typically I've got my Plano 3700 size box that I shove straight underneath my seat, where I will, one second, to where I can just strap it in right here. And my 3700 box it's a deep box, and I've got dividers in it. It's got all my crankbaits, so it's got deep divers, mid divers, shallow divers, lipless, square bills. I think I have some soft plastic swim baits in there, some hard plastics, jerk baits, big and small. So I have a little bit of everything in there. I've got tons and tons of crankbaits, so that box works really well for that. And I usually just throw that underneath my chair. I forgot about it today, so it's not sitting in there. But yeah, other than that, beside my chair, I have my hog trough, and I just keep that right beside. I've got a black pack with 8 rod holders, so I really do not need these rod holders too much. I keep them there just in case. Other than that, I've got 2 Hobie H bins, or the tackle bins, on my H rail on both sides. One of them I just kind of keep as a junk tray. Whatever I have extras of, or whatever I don't need or run out of, I'll just throw trash in there. And then in each one of the compartments on each side, got pliers, got fish grips. I've got a tape measure in case I catch a huge bass that I want to have an artificial mount made out of. And then on the other side, I've got a multi-tool, and then I usually keep a scale over there, but it ran out of batteries, so I brought it out, or I brought it inside, and I'm going to throw more batteries in it. And this H bin over here, the tackle bin over there, I keep whatever I'm targeting that day, whatever extra tackle I have, I'll throw it in there. So right now, I went crappie fishing the other day, so I have all my crappie tackle in there. I've got one little tackle box in there that I have all my crappie stuff in, because I don't do it too much, so I don't have nearly as much as I do bass fishing. So usually if I'm bass fishing, I'll still throw extra stuff over there, or I may throw like a fluke box or any extra soft plastics that I'm going to need real quick over there. So that's just what I do there. Alright guys, moving on. I used to have a custom milk crate that I made, but I ended up getting this black pack for my birthday. So I absolutely love this thing though. I need to add rails up here so I can put more accessories on it, but I've got 8 rod holders. I had to buy 5 of them extra when I bought it. And then inside of this, I've got all my 3700 box soft plastics in it. So right here, this is my trick worms or my monster worms in there. So I've got the Zoom old monsters, some Guggen Mondo worms, but mostly old monsters, some trick worms. And then here, I've got all my creature baits. As you can see, Berkeley Pit Boss, Guggen Bandito Bug, the KVD Rodent, Brush Hog, KVD Game Hog, Christy Crawl, J Bug, Bandito Bug, on Kinky Beaver, Pit Boss, just everything that I have that's creature baits I keep in there. Next, Senko box. All these are Senkos, different brands. I don't buy Gary Yamamoto's just because they're so expensive, and other brands I use, I get the same results out of. So that's all my Senkos. Then got my trailer box. I've got all my jig trailers, chatterbait trailers, swim bait trailer type things. I've got some Ned rigs and just that type of stuff that I keep in here. And I label everything from the brand to the size and the make. So it's pretty easy whenever I run out of something to just go buy another and then throw it in here. And last, I've got my swim bait box, or not my swim bait, my topwater box. This isn't labeled, but it's just got all my topwaters, frogs, whopper ploppers, poppers, spooks, turtles, pretty much anything. I really need to get more topwaters, and I've been going and getting more here and there. So this will get fuller as the season starts, but that's just everything I keep in my black pack. I really don't have a specific way of putting everything in here or tightening down my black pack. I just kind of do it as it fits. So that's how I use my black pack. Right beside it, I've just got my paddles and the typical paddle holders that come with the Pro Angler, which, I mean, I don't really use them much. I just keep them there in case of emergency. So yeah, that's my black pack, and really what I have in the back tank well. I can throw a cooler in here if I really want to, if it's a hot day and we're going to be out for a while, for all food, drinks, anything. So yep, there is my tank well and what I keep here. Alright guys, lastly, I've got my Yak Attack Visicarbon Pro pole. I pretty much just got this so I can have the light on top for if I'm fishing early morning or night, just so I can have some type of visibility so boaters see me. So I've got that. I end up getting their American flag to put on, and then I attached it to my back plate right there where the rudder controls are under there. And let me set down my camera and I'll explain how I did that. Alright guys, so right here I've got my Visicarbon pole mounted onto the Mighty Mount that came with the pole. So pretty much how I did this is I took off this plate. Once I took it off, you can maybe see a dot there, there. I marked out to make it symmetrical on the plate. From there, I lined it up by the size of the plate, made it even on both sides. I first marked the holes where I wanted, I took it out and I drilled through. Once I drilled through, the bolts that actually came with it were a little bit too long, so I had to use a grinder and I cut those down to the right length to where I can still operate my rudder properly and where it's not even connecting to, or it's not even touching the rudder cables at all. At least these bolts aren't. So I just drilled that on there. It's nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. And then the Visicarbon, whenever I'm not using it, I just do this, and then I wind up the flag and I put it in my front hatch. So it's easy to store. It's a great thing to have just so you can make sure you're as safe as possible out on the water. So it's great to have. I highly recommend it, and I like the way that I mounted it. It makes it really easy to connect, disconnect, and keep it going good. Well guys, that is a complete breakdown of how I have my Pro Angler rigged for whenever I'm out fishing or tournament fishing. I keep it about the same for either way, and I love this thing so far. I'm going to have this thing for a while, and I just love all these Hobies. I'm no way associated with them. I just prefer the pedal style of the Hobies over any other pedal kayaks that there are. Like, I prefer the fin style more than the prop style. So that's why I love them so much. And now I've got two. I've got this, and I still have my Outback that I bought last year. So yeah, this is the breakdown of how I have my Hobie rigged, and I didn't go in depth about all my tackle because I will do another video of how I have all my tackle done throughout, like how I organize all my tackle in my kayak or even in all my tackle boxes. So stay tuned for that. I will have that video out about all my tackle and organization, and hopefully this helped, maybe give you guys some ideas. And if you guys have any suggestions for me on how I should rig it instead, make sure you drop them down in the comments. I'll be sure to look at all those and give some thought into it. I'm thinking about maybe upgrading to a few other things, such as the Yak power unit, maybe a power pole in the back, or possibly a Torpedo in the back. But I live up in Ohio where there's fresh water, and there's nothing like too huge to where I really would need that. So I'm kind of leaning towards just the power pole instead. But it's always a possibility. So make sure you guys check out other videos. Stay tuned for more videos I'm going to be making out of this kayak. And thanks for watching.